A Swift Kick in the Ass podcast, episode 0.
All big changes start with a swift kick in the ass. Join the journey of lifelong friends, John Curran and Tom Stewart, as they make conventional thought bend over and take a boot to the keister. Warning, listeners may notice a force equal to or greater than needed to get your ass moving. A swift kick in the ass. Living life on your terms.
Welcome to a Swift Kick in the Ass podcast. I'm Tom Stewart, and I'm joined with my lifelong friend, John Curran. And just to let you guys know, we've known each other since we were 4 and 5 years old, and we're in our late 40s now. And it's been a ride. We've just to let you know, we've already recorded like 12 episodes at this time. We figured we'd go back, just give a quick introduction of what you can expect, and we record them that way so we make sure that we constantly have episodes to give you on a weekly basis. Sound cool?
Sounds very cool, except I learned one thing back in elementary school, and I think it was from you. Expect the unexpected.
And from us, that's can definitely happen.
You know, as you said, Tom, we've been doing this now for about 12 episodes or so. We've known each other all of our lives. We grew up together on the same block down in Hollywood, Florida. We have a lot of good stories to tell, but also we've had a lot of really good people in our lives that we've looked up to who have lived life on their own terms. And I don't know about you, Tom, but it seems like I have always gravitated or admired people that live life on their own terms, and I really didn't stop to think about what that meant until my dad passed away about a year ago, because he was the leader of that group for me. He lived life on his own terms. I don't know how to say it any other way.
It's funny. I always pictured your dad when we picked out the name for this podcast, because he was a salty old guy. And he was the kind of guy that would kick you in the ass and not hold any words back. He would tell you how it was, and I always remember him. Johnny, pick up those leaves. He was always, like a slave driver sometimes. But hey, my dad wasn't far from it.
Tommy, I want my iced tea.
Yeah, the only difference is your dad was out working in the yard, and my dad was sitting in a lazy boy.
Yeah, we had some great authority figures in our life, and it shaped us as individuals. So we don't look at life like a lot of other people do. I think we look at life very differently than the average person, and we hope to share that with you. How we think, how we approach things. Hopefully, give you some very good common sense approaches, things that you can try to do with your own life. And some things you're going to learn from us, you might want to do. Other things that you might learn from us, you want to avoid.
Right. I mean, the basic premise of the show, other than living life on your own terms, is doing the personal change that gets you to be able to live your life on your own terms. And me and John are both on that journey. We're not there yet, and we want to take you along with that journey. Our trial and errors, things that work for us, things that don't work for us. Hell, it might help you along, and we might learn some things from our listeners as well.
Yeah, I think that's guaranteed. Life is a learning process, and as I've looked, into the meaning of life, and when someone like your father passes away, and Tom, you know this because your dad died as well, you begin to really look at life a lot differently. And because I admired my dad so much, and I recognized these individuals throughout my life that live life on their own terms, and I found myself using that phrase a lot, I wanted to know what it meant. So my understanding of living life on your own terms is really that it's something we all do. We have these terms or conditions that we live by, but the degree to which we can control those terms, that's what living life on your own terms is all about. It's about taking control of your life, becoming an authority of your own life.
Absolutely. And one of the things that it won't come out until about episode 6 or 7 is we're doing a running series, which is going to be a long series on Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. It's a really awesome book. It's kind of evil, but it makes for some very fun podcast. And we'll cover all 48 laws and give you an idea of what's in the book, talk about it, how it applies to our lives, and hopefully how it can apply to your life.
Yeah, and when Tom says evil, he means evil. And it's funny to laugh at it because it does sound evil. When I start reading this, I'm like, crap. What is this? What is this saying? This is just, I don't know if I should be reading this. But it's not evil. It's there is good and bad in the world. There are bad people and good people, and if you don't understand how a bad person thinks, you have no way to protect yourself. So it's really understanding not just good or bad, it's understanding human nature and how people have asserted power throughout history. So it's very interesting.
It's almost like a survival guide when you're
working for the man.
You like that? If you work in a corporate environment, you must read this book if you want to survive. It will help you tremendously.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know us, Tom and I both come from corporate backgrounds. I've worked, over 15 years in corporate healthcare. So we know about working for the man, and
right.
We also.
Yeah, I come from broadcasting, from radio. I work as an engineer. Been doing that for 20 years, and I also spent some time working on a presidential aircraft in the Air Force.
Yeah, so we don't want to be hypocritical. We're not saying that working for the man is bad. We work for the man ourselves. What we are saying is that the swift kick in our ass is that, hey, you know what? We understand that working for the man or corporate America is not fulfilling for us. And what we want is we want to fulfill our lives. We want to be passionate about what we do, and we are very passionate about living on our own terms. We look to share that with our followers.
Yeah, we go through our ups and downs, and I hadn't mentioned this yet to John, but I try to be athletic. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I haven't been in the gym for the last couple of weeks just because of things going on, and my wife was out of town, and I felt really bad today. I just felt like, I was starting to get depressed, and I was like, man, I haven't worked out, and it's been a lot of birthdays in my family, so it's every other night I'm eating out. And when my wife was out of town, I'm not the best cook, so I was eating out. So I felt very, a little overweight today. And I was starting to get depressed, and I started lifting weight for a little while, and I even came in for a minute, laid on the bed, and I was like, I don't know if I can finish my workout. But then I went out, and I started playing with my balls. So I have these big black balls. One's a little bigger than the other, and so I was throwing them around in the backyard. One's a 20-pound ball, and one's a 30-pound ball, and they're
like get those looked at.
They're slam balls, like you use in CrossFit. I don't know what you were thinking, John, but after I did that, I felt tremendous. I felt great. I mean, I think everyone should play with their balls. It was it got rid of my frustration. I came back in. I was like, you know what? I feel like I accomplished something.
So what you're saying is that you were very relieved after you were playing with your balls, and all the pressure was released.
I guess so.
Your wife
we're not trying to be an X-rated show. We keep it, but we do throw in our jabs here and there, and it's who we are. It's how we grew up, and we grew up in the 70s and 80s, and we grew up in a town that was not always the most friendly, and so it's kind of hardened us, but sharpened the blades. With a sharpened axe, right?
Yeah, so we have a lot of stories to tell. Tom and I have a long history together, and we continue to make memories and make stories. So it's good, and we like sharing them. We hope you like sharing them too.
Right. I'm gonna read you something. I carry this in my wallet, and I've probably mentioned this on other podcasts, which are right now in the future for you. But one of the things I really try to live by is by Viktor E. Frankl, and it's a short little quote, but it says, "Between the stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our freedom and our power to choose our response. In those choices lie our growth and our happiness." And it's true. It's how you respond, and it's our choice. In the bottom line, it's our choice to be depressed. It's our choice to be happy. It's our choice to go to work. It's our choice to give up and die. So it's how I live my life. It's how John lives his life, and we're just trying to do the right thing and be better people.
Yeah, back when I was going to the University of Florida, I graduated with a health science education degree, which is basically a teaching degree. And in order to get the degree, I took a course on emotional health. And it was at that time that I really learned and had it kind of drilled in my head that we all own our emotions. So the way you feel, no one can take that away from you. No one can say that's wrong. And we're certainly not saying that's wrong. You're entitled to how you feel. But you are also the owner of that emotion. And we make choices as to whether or not we let these emotions get the better of us, or we recognize that emotions are a very useful tool that we can use to our advantage and learn from them. And basically, when things are going bad and you feel bad about it, that is a sign that, hey, something is bad. You need to pay attention to whatever's going on and take some action to change things. Because if you're always feeling good, you're not going to do anything. You're going to be like Tommy, in his workout today. Come in, lay down on the couch, take a little nap, and life is good.
Almost did. I almost gave up and just said, I'm tired. I don't feel like working out, but I knew I needed it. So I
Suck it up, buttercup.
I took that advice. And trust me, my wife is always there to present Suck It Up Buttercup. She's a CrossFit and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter. So she was telling me earlier, she was like, I was kind of sitting around going, I wonder if I should do a podcast today, if I should work out. She's like, what's wrong? She goes, why don't you just go do it? So that's what I did.
Yeah, it's this is a great partnership between Tom and I, and it's been going on for a long time. Remember back when, I don't know, how old were we when my dad taught us how to work out with weights? We were 12.
I did not like weights back then. I had no interest, and but maybe by the time I was 14, I fell in love with them, and I've loved lifting weights and that kind of activity for the rest of my life.
So my dad introduced weightlifting to Tommy and myself, and I was a 98-pound weakling, and I needed to work out with weights because I really didn't feel good about the way I looked, and I was scrawny, and I just felt terrible. But Tommy and I had been workout partners for a long time. We now live in separate states, so it's difficult to get workouts in, and Tommy's into the jiu-jitsu. I've been busy raising 3 kids, and I'm not hitting the gym like I should either. It's actually been about a month for me, so I need to get back in the gym. And I hear through Tom, you know what? I have no excuse. I need to get back in. So it's a kick in the ass whether or not he realizes that it is. But
and I think we've both gone through different phases. I know I've been, as heavy as 50 pounds higher than what I am weighing right now, and it sucks when you used to be an athletic person and then you kind of let yourself go. You have kids and you get busy with work and you don't get time to get into the gym, and before you know it, life catches up with you, and it's a matter of overcoming that. And it's almost like a roller coaster sometimes, because I know I go through phases where I'm in very good shape to where I'm feeling really bad about myself, and man, like I'm pregnant.
Well, I know I don't handle stress all that well when I don't work out, so I find it a great, just like you find relief in playing with your balls. I like to work out and relieve my stress. I handle it so much better. But the point I was really trying to get to in a very long-winded way was that having a workout partner encourages you to keep going at this, and we hope to be your workout partner as you move towards living life on your own terms. We're not always up, and gung-ho about everything. We like to disrupt conventional thought, which means that we don't believe everything that the media is telling us, and we're going to lead we're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're trying to live our own lives the best way that we can, provide for our families, and make life all that it can be.
And hold each other accountable. Accountability is a huge part of how me and John try to advance ourselves. And you don't have that. Sometimes it's important to find someone that can hold you accountable, because trying to do it yourself, man, no man's an island. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. So on our website, aswiftkickintheass.com, you can reach out to us, leave us a voicemail. Tell us what you're thinking, and we'll address it on the show.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
We might even want to interview you if you have a good idea or good story from about personal change, something that's changed you, because that's what we're looking for. Ordinary, everyday people that have changed, not famous people that you hear on other podcasts or the same other. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and a lot of times they interview the same damn people. It's like, no, I want to hear average Joe, someone that's in my shoes that has really overcome something that's the same kind of problems that I face. So if you have a problem and an issue that you want to address, talk to us and let's hook up.
It's what's very interesting to me is that so many times we feel alone in our feelings or an experience. For instance, I remember back several years ago, my wife had a miscarriage, and I felt absolutely terrible about it. And as I opened up about it to different people I knew, this person experienced it, that person experienced it. So many people had gone through the same thing. I wasn't alone at all. A lot of people had gone through it. And recognizing that others had been gone through it before and, came out better in the process. I mean, I'm not talking about having a miscarriage, but when bad things happen in your life, it's good to know that you're not alone. You're not the only person that's ever gone through it, and there are people out there that can help through their own lives, because we all learn by example. We're social creatures. We learn from each other. So it's really, if you have a good story, not only is it entertaining, but you also may be able to give someone else that swift kick in the ass that they need to get themselves moving in the right direction.
Absolutely, man. And with that, we want to let you go. We want to provide value, and this is really just talking about what to expect. And so dive into the other episodes. We hope you enjoy it. Give us a review on iTunes and let us know what you think. See ya.
Thank you for listening to A Swift Kick in the Ass podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's content, and we ask you to please give us a review in iTunes. Also, head over to aswiftkickintheass.com to get a free copy of the Simple Spending Tool.